starting from we have to know why you should care about research. I mentioned earlier, whatever thing that we do today, or what we are enjoying as physicians, surgeons, were outcome of research. The guideline that we are using for one disease or the other are outcome of research. The drugs that we use are outcome of research.
That's research. Abundant. The lecture.
So all these things that we are enjoying were the outcome of someone's curiosity, and that is where we got this the topic from curiosity to contribution. So a lot of researchers are curious to know what is happening around them. So as a researcher, if you want to become a medical researcher, you have to be curious. One of the attributes of a good researcher, you have to be curious. You have to know the reason why things are happening around you. Why is this drug is better than the other one? Why is this patient responding to treatment using so method of treatment than the other one? So having these questions has formed a basis for a research. So you have to know why such is happening. So this curiosity that we are talking about can start with you today. You can look around you. What are the problems around you in our wards, among the patients that are coming, the services that we are providing? What are the problems that you think carrying out a research on it can solve? So that is the curiosity that we are talking about. You have to be curious to be a better medical researcher. So in this roadmap, a presentation, we are going to look at this outline, looking at what is even the research itself and why it matters. Then the research journey, the step-by-step, from where are you supposed to start your research journey from? We are going to look at this step-by-step process. Then as a novice, as someone who don't know anything about research, what are you going to start with? Research is associated with a lot of challenges. How are you going to avoid those or overcome those challenges? We will look at it. Then at the end of the lecture, looking at all what we'll be presenting from the beginning to the end, it will give us an idea that we can formulate our action plan from this presentation. That, okay, I want to become a medical researcher. Where is the action plan? Maybe from tomorrow now, what are you supposed to start with as a beginner researcher? So research is a systematic, disciplined process of inquiry aimed at generating new knowledge, validating existing knowledge, or solving problems. This is just one of the simplest definitions of research. It is an inquiry, meaning that you have to ask questions. You will ask why things are happening. With this, you will be able to generate new things that you contribute to the body of the knowledge that you already have. So that is the essence of research. Essence of research is that your own research should be a contribution to what we already have, not that you are going to present what someone has already done. No, add something to your own, that will take your own higher than what the other person has done. And that is where research, identifying a research gap is very important, so that your own research should also fill those gaps. Your research should also be able to validate other research maybe that has been conducted many years ago. Maybe that is what you want to do. So it's validating existing knowledge, not new knowledge now. Knowledge that is already existing, you want to validate it. Or solving problems. We use research to solve problems. If you see problems now, you want to know why this problem is occurring, people who are affected, and at the end of your research, you should be able to come up with the solution and make recommendation to stakeholders, people that you think that can solve those problems. It's only research that can help you solve such problem. At the end of the day, we should know that research is a rigorous method, and involve a lot of things, systematic processes that you have to follow. It's not something that you just jump in haphazardly and stuff. It's systematic. So by this inquiry that we are talking about, that means you need to ask questions. Research usually starts with asking questions. We know that a lot of things that were invented today that we are using, they don't just occur. Maybe the drug that we are using today, they don't just occur. The research that was conducted to produce those drugs doesn't just start from lab. It starts from conceptualizing an idea. So you ask questions, and once you have questions, you have your research questions, you explore. You look for previous information that are already available, previous researches that other people has already done. You read, you collect your data systematically, you analyze it, and you arrive at your own results. Your results should be able to answer those questions that you asked earlier. And you are not going to just stop there. If you stop there, that means your research has been perished, and that's not what we want. Every research conducted should be added to the body of the knowledge, should be the recommendation should be given to people who have the power to solve the problem or to do one thing or the other about that your research. And that is why you have to share your knowledge, that new knowledge or that knowledge that you are existing knowledge that you are validating. You have to share it to the public, and by sharing it, that means you have to publish it so that you can make your own contribution to the global knowledge pool. I know majority of medical or student research end up being perished. It's just few of them that will move further to publish it and make it available for other people to use. So as an undergraduate student, ensure that at the end of the it might be that the first encounter we will have as a student during in a research is usually at our final year classes where we carry out projects. So those projects are researches and are researches that should be made available for other people to benefit from it. It's an information, it's a new thing that we have found, so share it. Now we'll look at why research matters. If you look at these figures, they are outcome of researches. These statistics we are looking. Am I audible, please? Hello, am I audible? Hello, Dr. Khadija. I want to confirm if I'm audible, please.
Chief Sally, you are please. You are audible. You are audible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
Yes,
very
yes.
much, Mr. President. So if you look at
Yes, sir.
this, we look at why research matter. So every statistic you are seeing below, they are outcome of research. They are outcome of someone's questions from a curious mind. Someone who is curious conducted these researches and come up with the following outcome, the following result. If you look at this, and this statistic is, they are like a challenge to us, that they are like a slap on our face, that less than 2% of Africa, this is what we can only contribute to the body of knowledge in the research. In the whole research in the whole world, we, the Africans, our own contribution to research is just 2%. So this is a big challenge, and this should wake me and you up to become researcher. Research have a lot of benefits. We all know that. So Africa contributes just 2%. Despite we, the Africans, contributing 18% of the world population, constituting 18% of the world population, but our own contribution to research is just less than 2%. So this is an answer to a question from someone who is curious. He was able to arrive at this result, 2%. Then we know that globally, the number of diseases that we have globally, Africa contributes 25% of those diseases, according to WHO. And look at our contribution to research, it's just less than 2%. We have a lot of diseases, but we are not conducting research to even find out maybe the treatment for those diseases. So it's a challenge on us and something that should wake us up to become medical researchers. And look at this. Every year, about 3.3 million articles are published globally. Like in 2022, we have about 3.3 million researches are published globally. But look at what our own contribution as Africans. In that 2022, it was just 2.5% contribution. Look at 2.5% of 3.3 million. It's negligible, meaning that we are left behind as Africans in terms of research. And coming to our own country, Nigeria, we have a lot of challenges ranging from funding, ranging from having a good mentors, and having problem with training on research. And that is one of the reasons why we come up with this. We initiate research club into this Mentor-Mentee program. We are ready to help our mentees who have interest in research. We are ready to mentor you so that we should contribute largely to the body of knowledge. Africa should wake up, have larger percentage in the number of researches that are occurring globally. So this is a research journey. If you have an idea, you want to become a researcher now, this is the journey that you should follow. Research usually starts, as I mentioned earlier, research usually starts with asking questions. If you have your research questions, once you are able to have your research questions, that is the beginning of your research. You might have your topic. From the topic, you have an idea. Maybe you have an idea on one problem or the other. From your research questions, you can even have your topic. And from your topic, you can also have your research questions. But usually start with questions. And once you are able to have questions, the next step now, your next bus stop in this journey is for you to review existing literature. There's no way that idea that you have, there's no way someone has not done something on it before. And that is the essence of literature review. Look at what other people have done. Read extensively on what other people have done on that problem or on that question that you have. And we have method of searching for this. This one is a lecture for another day, how to search for literature. So we are able to have your literature ready from what you have read, from what other people has done in the past. From there, you'll have an idea how your own methodology is going to look like. So that's the essence of reading what other people has done. You know how you are going to design your own research. Which study design you are going to use, you know it from previous research, what they have done. Study design is also another thing entirely on its own. It's just like you having study design is just like having a building plan. Okay, if you want to build a house now, you look for an architecture. Architecture will give you a plan for the house, and it's that plan that will follow. Even there will be a little diversion from the plan. It's just minimal. They will follow until the building is complete. So research design is like that building plan that you'll follow from the beginning of your research up to the end of the research. And we have different forms of those study design, either ranging from case report, case series, case control studies, cohort studies, randomized clinical trial, that is the RCT, cross-sectional study. So as a beginner researcher, you cannot say you go into randomized clinical trial as a beginner researcher if you want to start research on your own. However, you can be like maybe research assistant to all those randomized clinical trials. These are interventional study, which as a beginner, you are not expected to start with interventional study design. You can start with something basic like maybe case control, case series. You might be working, you might be going through your rotations in your clinical postings. You came across something very rare. You came across a rare condition. Your research can start from there as a beginner researcher. You are clerking a patient and you discover that this patient has something that is rare. You discuss with your senior registrar, consultant, and they all confirm this is a rare case. Your research can start. You can publish it as a report, a case report. And if you have multiple of them, such cases are coming, you can report it as a case series. So these are basic form of research that you can do. Commonly at our final year, what we do, what we most of the students in final years, either MBBS student or the allied health student, what they do majorly, the study design they follow is usually a cross-sectional study. So study design is something entirely that should be discussed separately, not in this presentation. So if you are able to have your methodology chapter written, documented, the next thing for you to do is for you to go and look for data that will help you to answer such either your research questions. This is the stage where you will now go and collect your data. Who are your study participants? These are the people that you are going to collect the problem that you have seen. So look for the people that have that problem so that you can get the data from them and confirm either that problem actually exists or it doesn't exist. You collect your data, you analyze your data, and you arrive at a result using the different statistical analysis, statistical model that we have will help you in arriving at a result that will help you in answering such research questions that you stated from the beginning of your journey. And once you have your result, analyze everything you discuss, that is maybe chapter 5 of your research, you make discussion, compare your own result with all what other people have done, you conclude and make recommendations that will be tailored to solving that problem that you discovered. And are you going to stop there? No. If you stop there without publishing it, it's like you have done something, it's like you have not contributed anything. So ensure your final year project is published, work with your supervisor, ensure it is published so that you know that yes, you know that you have started a journey of becoming a researcher. You have made a new contribution to the body of the knowledge. And if you cannot even publish it, at least go and present it in conferences. We have different conferences coming up. You can even currently we have I think CHS conference is coming up very soon. Present your findings at such conferences. At least you have made your research known to people. If you have the opportunity, look for peer review journals and submit your manuscript for publication. We have different forms of research that you can venture into. However, as a beginner or as an undergraduate, for now, you don't have to mind which area am I to focus in, which type of research am I to do, depending on the area of your specialty. Like we that were already doing postgraduate studies, we decide to research in our area of specialty. But as an undergraduate, you might decide not to focus on one area or specialty. Maybe as you are going through your rotations, any specialty that you find yourself and you discover something that needs to be researched on, you can just venture into it and start get a mentor, someone that will guide you, and you can start from there. So we have qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method research. But these other types that you are seeing depend on where your area of specialty is. Now, as a novice, where are you going to start from? So as a beginner, you actually don't need to be in lab before you can say you conduct a research. We know that most research we think of maybe they are conducted in lab and so on. Yeah, it depends. And you don't actually need grant as a beginner to say you need a grant before you can start your research. You need the following three basic things: your level of curiosity, you need a mentor as a beginner, and your level of consistency. If you are curious, you want to know things that are happening around you, then look for a mentor, someone that will guide you. And that is why we have mentors in this program. Then your own level of consistency also matters. You have a good mentor who can push you to do the right thing, to ensure that you are consistent with your own effort, with your own commitment. Having these three, these are what you actually need as a beginner, not a grant. So what are you going to do? Number one, you look for your area of interest. Maybe you find your niche. What clinical problems keeps bothering you as you are moving around during your rotations, postings? What do you think bothering you? Which condition or what's the problem bothering you among the service that is being rendered, among the doctors, the nurses, and so on? What is that thing that usually bother you that you don't want to continue to be seeing that thing? So that will form the basis of your research question. Okay. You would like to know what is the cause of that problem. Once you are able to have such thing in your mind, that problem, then go and search for articles, what other people have done on that. So read other people's work. Read clinical guidelines, read a published paper, journal paper on that question or on that problem. Number three, you should do as a beginner, as a novice, is for you to join research group. And our research club is actually here to help you with that. So you should leverage on this program of the Association of Resident Doctors UDUTHS under the leadership of our of Dr Mujitaba Umar. Leverage on this program for you to collaborate and multiply your capacity. We are actually here to mentor you to become to add numbers to the researchers that we have in Africa or in Nigeria. So the fourth thing that you should do is for you to start small, so you don't have to rush. Start small. You can begin with, as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned case report, case series, cross-sectional study. These are things that as a beginner, these are the type of research that you should venture into. Then another important thing as a researcher, as a medical researcher, you also have to have some basic knowledge of biostatistics, because these are what will help you in answering your research questions, achieving your research objectives. The basic biostatistic like the mean, median, p-values, confidence interval, and so on. You can have some basic knowledge on how to make use of these statistical terms. Having knowledge of how to use APSS, SPSS for analysis is also an added advantage for you. And one thing that we joke with as a medical researcher is ethics. You know, because we are dealing with human beings, most of our research. So ethics actually play a vital role in any research that you have to conduct. So ranging from the patient or the participant that you want to recruit as your study participant, that participant consent that yes, I want to be part of your research is part of ethics. So you have to get an informed consent from the participant. Then moving to maybe institutional ethical approval. For example, you want to conduct a research on patients in this teaching hospital. You cannot just go and just start conducting such research without without properly or formally written to the committee that are in charge of research ethical approval in this university, in this teaching hospital, sorry. Or even if you are conducting a research under the university section, Stanford University, you still have to get an approval, ethical approval from the research committee of the university. And this is very important because it's going to protect you, protect your data, and even your future career. You cannot just come and say you start conducting research on patients without getting the approval first from these institutions. And also, for example, if you are conducting a research that has to do with the state government, maybe the Sokoto state, you still have to go to, they maybe usually will go to the Ministry of Health to get an ethical approval for that. That will cover you for you to go to anywhere in the state. If that research is not being conducted in the teaching hospital, you go to anywhere in the state and to cover you. This slide will just tell you some of the components, your research question that I've been mentioning. That research question must have this component, okay? We give it this acronym. That people, sometimes it can be PECOT or PICO, depending on the type of research that you are conducting. If it is an interventional research that you have to expose your participant to something, there's intervention. Usually your research question should contain the study participant, the studied participant that you want to conduct your research on. What are you doing? What are you intervening? Are you giving them drug or not, to look at the outcome? Those one, the comparison now, there are those ones that are giving drug and those ones that are not giving drug. You want to look at the effectiveness of the drug. Definitely you look for comparison group. This group, you give them this drug, and this group you give them maybe placebo, and look at the outcome. Okay, so this is an example. Maybe you can have your research question can be something like this. You want to know the maybe the effect of lifestyle modification on on social patients, on patients that are maybe hypertensive or DM, and look at the outcome, either their hypertension, their blood pressure will be improved in those ones that are practicing one lifestyle modification or the other. So a research question basically should have these maybe 4 or 5 components. If your research question doesn't have this component, then it's not yet a good research question. These are the challenges that you can say you have, and they are not actually an excuse. You can actually overcome them. Someone can say, I don't have time. I don't have time for me to venture into research. But you can say that, what if you say you can do 1 or 2, maybe 30 minutes a day, you dedicate 30 minutes to learn research. Cumulatively, before you know, you understand that at the end of the maybe within 1 month, you discover that you have learned a lot about research. Another excuse or challenge that someone might have is I don't know about biostatistics. What if you just start with basic descriptive statistics? You just want to know the mean, median, and mode, measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, range, and other things. So biostatistics is actually learnable at every level. Someone might say, I don't have funding. Many impactful studies cost almost nothing. Some research actually costs nothing. So it's not an excuse. So as a beginner, funding should not be your excuse. Fear of rejection, this is when maybe you have a lot of people have this. Some people have this challenge. You have finished your research. You have you have complete everything about your research, and your aim, your objective, one of the things you want to achieve is for you to publish it. Is for you to publish it. And some people have this fear of rejection. We have peer-reviewed journals. These journals have their guidelines that you have to abide by their guidelines before they can accept your journal, your research for it to be published. So people have the fear of rejecting their research. So that used to be an excuse for them. But you should know that every rejection from on any article that you submit is an opportunity for you to go and do better, to go and learn better, and come back stronger, and resubmit to them again, or resubmit to another journal. And God willing, with the leadership of our infatigable president, we are able to come up with ARD UDUTHS journal, which very soon we are going to launch it, and we will welcome publication from our mentees. Our mentees, you are welcome to start publishing your paper on our journal. Someone's excuse might be, I work alone. And that is why this program, the ARD UDUTHS Mentor-Mentee Program, is your solution. You don't have to work alone again. We are here to collaborate. We are here to help you to ensure that you become a successful medical career. I mentioned about ethics earlier. So these are the things that have to, when we talk about medical ethic or research ethic, these are all what it entails. Whatever participant you want to include into your study, your research, you have to get an informed consent from such participants. And they voluntarily agree to participate in your research, they have the right not to participate. You should know that. Okay? They can decline not to participate and you don't have anything to do for them. Can't do anything against them. You have to ensure that the research that you want to conduct will benefit populace. And you have to ensure that this research you want to conduct will not harm anybody. And that is the aspect of that research have to be beneficent and non-maleficent. That is, it should not cause harm. You have to ensure justice. You have to ensure fair selection of participants, no exploitation of vulnerable population. Very important. Another important aspect of ethics is confidentiality. You are going to collect information from people. You have to ensure that those information remain confided. So you have to protect this participant identity and data at all times. Ensure you get your ethical approval from the relevant institutions, depending on where your study participants are, and you ensure scientific integrity. We don't encourage data fabrication. We don't encourage falsification of information or plagiarism. Now we have the advent of artificial intelligence, that someone can just sit down in his office and artificial intelligence will just give you everything that you need about your research and you go and publish. That is not ethical practice. That's not ethics. Okay? Even if you are to use artificial intelligence, you have to learn how to use it responsibly. The ethical way of using artificial intelligence is another topic on its own. And you know that plagiarism is an academic offense. Research is like academic writing, and you have to ensure that you take care of plagiarism. You have to give credit to any article that you use in your own work. Those previous existing articles that you read during your literature review and other things, we have to give credit. We have to acknowledge them. People that work on that project, you have to acknowledge them to avoid plagiarism. And we should know that we have institutions, journals, peer-reviewed journals have a method of detecting plagiarism. If they discover that you mention something that need to be, that you have to credit the original owner of that statement and you didn't, that is plagiarism. And that is where the aspect of referencing also come in. Referencing is also another aspect in research entirely, maybe in our subsequent presentations. Now, do you want to publish your article or you just want it to perish? I'm very sure we would like to publish. We would like to add knowledge to the existing body of knowledge. We would like to make your project available to other people. At least let people cite your work. Let your work be available in some of these journals. Let people cite so that at least you see the number of citation, that number of people that are citing your work. You yourself, you feel like, yes, you are already contributing something to the body of knowledge. So these are some of the processes that you at the end of the day, after your research, what you want to publish your work. These are what involved. Number one, yes, you have to write. You have to put your research, that thing that you have done, you have to document it, to be documented. And these are usually the chapters that any research while you are developing your manuscript, these are what you will follow. Usually be kept concise and so on. So this is the format if you want to publish. Usually use this acronym IMRAD. From introduction page, you have your methodology, result, and discussion. Most journals, this is what they accept. Then once you're able to get a look, hopefully very soon our ARD UDUTHS journal will be live, and your articles are welcome to be published in this journal. Once you are able to get a journal that you want to submit to, you submit your work to them and wait for them to review. They have peer review, they have reviewers. Your work will go through one reviewer and the other. They have to check your work to ensure that, even though we know we have some journal that they don't care, they are only just to get money, understand? Because any work you want to publish, you pay some token. Some journal, they are just after the money. They don't care about this peer reviewing. Okay, so you submit for it to be reviewed, and they'll get back to you. Once they get back, any correction that they made, whatever thing they want you to do, just make your correction and then publish, and your work will be shared widely for other people to look at your work, instead of you just keeping your work idle to perish in your cupboard. These are some of the essential tools that we use as researchers. If you want to search for literature now, these are the databases where you can go to search for previous work that's been done on that topic that you want to research on. Go to PubMed, Google Scholar, Cochrane, African Journal, Online, Ajol. Okay, so PubMed is usually for biomedical research. Like we done that we are in medical line. If you want to get your topic that is medically related topic, you want to get previously published work, you go to PubMed. Google is broad, other specialty, everybody you can make their research available on Google Scholar. So if you want to get specific literatures on biomedical researches, you go to PubMed or Medline. These are some of the tools that we use for statistical analysis, SPSS, R, EpiInfo. I was talking about plagiarism earlier, and if you don't reference your work properly, that is where plagiarism comes in. And we have tools, reference manager, that make referencing easier for you. We have some free ones like Zotero, Mendeley. Then we have the paid one like EndNote. Other thing that might help you in your writings are the Google Docs. Google Docs is very important because it's like a cloud. You can like keep your writings there, because anything can happen to your computer or so on. Your Google Docs is your document is saved there. You can log in at any time using your email and access it. Grammarly correct a lot of things for you, or grammar and so on. Turnitin, this is used for checking for plagiarism. A lot of institutions use Turnitin and ResearchGate. Now, finally, we will look at your action plan now. At the end of, we have gone through all what is involved in becoming a medical researcher, how you can publish. So what are you to start, maybe from tomorrow or this week? What is that small, consistent action that you can start within this week as a beginner researcher? Maybe we can say within this week, You should be able to identify one clinical question that puzzles you, something that has been coming through your mind. What is that thing? If you are able to look into your mind and you discover that yes, there's this clinical problem question that has been coming through your mind and you don't know how any much about it, then go and create PubMed account. It's very easy and search about that thing. So I told you earlier, for you to get relevant articles about that problem, there are ways we can do it, like the use of Boolean operators and so on. There are operators that we use on PubMed that will fetch a lot of relevant articles for you instead of giving you things randomly. So maybe you can decide to do this within this week. In 1 month now, you can decide to be reading 4 papers in that area of interest. Begin to read papers, publish papers, meet your mentor and discuss a research area. Okay. In 3 months now, you can say, okay, you submit a concept note, you want to start developing a proposal. Okay. You want to start developing a proposal in 3 months. You want to add more knowledge, you can decide to look for any online research methodology course and register and learn more in 3 months. In 6 months, you can, depending on the type of research you want to do in the topic, you can start. By then, you might have even complete data collection for your first study as a beginner, your first research. Can start, look for your mentor and present, develop an abstract or the manuscript for that research, present it, and start looking for a journal that you publish it. So in 6 months, you can actually publish your first paper. So the world needs people that are curious. Again, I want to lay more emphasis on this. We, the Africans, produce only 2% of global research output. So it's a challenge on us. We need more researchers that will make their work available for them so that this percentage should increase. And we are the one that carries about quarter of all the disease in this world. And we are not contributing much in the area of research. So we should know that you are not just doing a research, you are filling a gap that could save lives in your community. So you can begin the journey today. The first step is for you to ask questions. Thank you very much for listening. I remain Dr. Saliu Shaibu, and this brings us to the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening. Dr. Khadija, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Coordinator Research, for your presentation. In fact, I have my own notes here. I'm making my own notes here, and I so much appreciate you. Besides that, we have birthed the research club. The other thing that this administration started doing and further consolidating is the series, the research series. I hope I got the name correct, where Dr. Malemi, as well as others, I think it started from the last administration, and Mr.
Yes,
President,
research
for that
methodology series.
yes, research methodology series, and that is free. You can access it on our YouTube channel. So for our residents, mentees, you do not have to pay for methodology courses. They are available on our YouTube channel. You just type ARD UDUTHS and you would see it, right? And thank you so much for, in fact, you have broken down research like never before. I've attended so many classes, and one of the challenges that I've had so far personally, as someone who is interested in being a medical researcher as a resident, is it's all looked so perfect and highfalutin for me, and you have taught it to me like you would teach someone in primary school. you've really broken it down. In fact, I can't wait to dive into research myself. I've had ideas, but I really didn't know how to put it up until now. So thank you so much. If you have questions, please drop it in the comments section, and I'll be reading it out to him one by one. But I wanted to quickly make a contribution. We are Africans, and we one of the reasons why, because I've asked some persons questions as the reasons why we don't have interest, or even though we have interest, we just get stuck somehow, is because of the scarcity mindset. We operate from scarcity mindset, and then we'll say, I beg, what is it? And then the other thing is the discipline, because you need to be disciplined to carry something out and do it to the end. And the scarcity mindset is very important, because you say, how much is it going to add to my pocket? Now, I'll quickly answer that. I know there are so many things filling a gap, but I want to let us know the financial implications of it. When you are solving a problem, when you bridge the gap, you are able to implement policies, and you're able to implement policies, the money doesn't immediately enter your pocket, but when you do this cumulatively, it will. Now, let me give you an instance. I was curious some time ago as to why tropical medicine is being studied in School of Tropical Medicine. There's a School of Tropical Medicine in London, and tropical medicine is here in Africa. So I put that out on my LinkedIn page, and one of my teacher, who I was a house officer while he was a senior registrar way back then in Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital. So he replied after I made a write up. He replied that from their end, because if you know ISTH, Ira Specialist Teaching Hospital, that is an area of Lassa fever. There's a center known for excellence for Lassa fever. People travel abroad just to collect data, something that we here in Africa, in Nigeria, do not do. People travel out to collect data and report and publish it. Imagine that. So Dr. Bonoga, I think he's soon to be a professor now. So he replied to my post that a bill has already been passed. A bill has already been passed to start Tropical School of Medicine in ISTH. Now, what does that tell you? In starting that is going to be an area for research. That's going to be an area, and federal government is going to pump money there. So imagine you want to start projects, government will put in money. So if we say, how is that going to put money in my pocket? That's an answer. So the more we get into it, let's look at our environment. Let's look at UDUTHS. Let's look at Amanawa. Let's look at even Miriam Abacha here. Let's start from our environment. For us, now this is something that they are pushing in the South. So why can't we here push something with that respect, and then it brings we can push it as a bill, get policies, and then eventually money comes into our pocket. So these things are long term. We shouldn't aim for gratification, instant gratification. So that's what I wanted to contribute. Thank you so much, Dr. Solly. So let me check if there are questions in the comments section. So okay, can we get the recording, please? Thank you for that is Dr. Umar Farouk. Then the second, there is no name here, is a Samsung SM. Thank you for the presentation, sir. Please, can we have access to record of this lecture? Dogondadi said, thank you, sir, for the presentation. There are no questions so far. So if there are no questions so far, it means everybody, in fact, people didn't only understand it. People still want more of this stuff so they can refer to it, and they can always go back and further consolidate the knowledge they have learned. Any other question, comments, contributions? We have a total of 22 participants at the end of this, and it means, in fact, we started with about 7 or 10. So it means that you, Dr. Saleh, have been able to pull and keep the attention of this. And it means it's something that people really do have interest in. It's just that one way or the other, they've not had that guidance and they've gotten it, alhamdulillah. So yes, the recordings, you'd have access to the recordings. I think it's going to be posted on the YouTube channel. I do not know. I would have to get confirmations from Mr. President. Mr. President, sir, are you
Yes, ma'am.
available? Can you?
Hello?
They are asking. Yes, sir. They are asking about the recordings of the class of the presentation.
Yes, it will be made available, ma'am. Yes.
All right. So you have heard it from Mr. President himself. It's going to be made available. We'll make all the necessary information dissemination in no time with respect to the recordings. So in the absence of questions, I want
sorry,
to...
Dr. Khadija. I don't know that Mr. President has made a remark.
Yes, I requested he make a remark, but he gave me the approval to go ahead as he said he was en route. So, Mr. President, you can still make your closing remarks, sir, if you are available at the moment.
Okay, Chief Khadija, thank you so much. Okay, earlier I was on the road. I said I will make a remark at the end. Thank you so much, our distinguished guest. Farooq Umar Farooq is a potter of Bauchi. He is my very close friend and associate of ARD UDUTHS. I see him asking question. Thank you, sir. If you're around, Farooq Umar Farooq.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, can you hear me? Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, you're highly welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. I must admit that I have to commend your effort for organizing such initiative and progressive self-development initiative. You know, I wanted to do it in Azare. However, I think we have serious apathy here. Maybe I will contact you personally to see how you have been doing it. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Otherwise, you can come and join us here so that let's do it together.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
We have one institution around here in Sokoto that will say that they should come and join us so that we give them treasures. Just joking. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. Thank you. You are my mentor now. So I want to sincerely appreciate everyone for joining. I can see some of our consultants are available, our respected senior colleagues and colleagues. Today marks a significant milestone in the history of our association as we launch another very important something, the research club. What we are launching today is not merely another committee or activity. We are laying the foundation for a culture of scientific inquiry, innovation, mentorship, and academic excellence. I want to sincerely appreciate our able Assistant Secretary General, Dr. Salih Shuaibu, and Coordinator Research for a lecture well delivered. From curiosity to contribution, a beginner's roadmap to becoming a successful medical researcher. Actually, I got stimulated and I got some hints on where to start. The presentation is insightful, practical, and inspiring. It has challenged many of us, the listener. I also want to especially appreciate the chairman of Mentor-Mentee Program for the excellent planning and coordination, Dr. Khadija Lawal. She has been a backbone in all the innovations of our great association. I envision this research hub that nurtures every resident, from those writing their very first research proposal to those publishing in high-impact international journals. This mentor-mentee will go a long way in stimulating this scientific vision. To every resident doctor, every medical student present here today, I encourage you to become an active member of this initiative. Ask questions, collaborate, seek mentorship, write, publish, and present your work. Let this research club become the platform that transforms your curiosity into impactful scientific contribution, just like what the presenter mentioned. It is therefore my great honor and privilege as the president of this great association to formally declare ARD UDUTHS Research Club officially launched. May this club continue to grow from strength to strength and produce generation of outstanding clinicians, scientists whose work will impact UDUTHS, Sokoto State, Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Thank you everyone for joining. I look forward to seeing you in the club. We should come up with ways to make it formal. We create WhatsApp group, other things. We need people that are really interested to come and join us here from all over the country so that we form a group of researchers that will keep moving Nigeria function to, let's say, 70% in the world. It's very possible we can do it. Everything starts from somewhere. We can start here and get all over the world. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. So with that, we have come to the end of this roadmap session and the birth of Research Club. I want to thank each and every one of us. I want to thank our presenter, Dr. Shuaibu Solih, Coordinator Research Mentor-Mentee Program, and the Assistant Secretary of the Association of Resident Doctors, Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital. From me here, it's good night. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.